Me, I've almost forgotten who I am. I am Romio Shrestha, born in Kathmandu and brought up in Kathmandu. I went to St. Xavier's School. Then, because of political situation, no more education. So I got into trading in a very early age. I was the first thangkas shop in Tamil. First tourist shop, in fact. And my life began there. Tamil was my university. I learned how to deal with people. Tamil is where I learned how to deal with people from all around the world. I spent many, many years trading in my art. Last price, how much? It was not easy, but that's how my journey began. Art is my life. I breathe, I smell, I talk, I feel art. So art is my life. As an artist, as I said, I began in Kathmandu, maybe in my last lifetime. It was known in China, Tibet. But this lifetime, I managed to get into the West. I'm the only living artist in the British Museum, Victor and Albert Museum in London, Naturalist Museum, New York, Metropolitan. So 17 major museums all around the world have collected my work. So basically, in other words, I do not sell the poverty of Nepal, rather the glory of Nepal, what Nepal stands for. My painting could be described as liberation through sight. So it's really a mirror image of your higher self. If you were to have a vision of your higher spiritual self, the images I paint are from that realm. No worries, man.
What?
Oh, that's what I mean. I learned it all in Tamil.
Oh wow.
I learned how the Aussies spoke,
Yeah.
what they thought. I learned how the English spoke, how they thought. I learned how the French. If I wanted to learn French, I made a French girlfriend. If I want to learn Japanese, I made a Japanese girlfriend.
Creating printing stuff.
It's actually people. You believe it or not, I have a vision to see people beyond their karmic self or the soul. Every human being has a soul. It represents different deities and situation, time. My work is all created in Kathmandu. This is the place where every rock, every tree, many faces know who I am. Since I was very young, since I was born. So I have many acquaintances, many friends here, of course. It affects my work. My work is only possible to create in Kathmandu, nowhere else. Ancient works of my works, I went traveled through museums, through collectors, and of course modern artists deeply. I have good friends with Lucien Freud, Francesco Clemente, big artists selling for millions of dollars. Just to understand what modern art is. Because artists are pioneers of the human mind. They show human being a new way of living. So it's beyond time, beyond the clutches of the organized world. They try to break away from the system. So I happen to be one of them. Favorite time of the day, in fact, it's only between 4 o'clock in the morning, 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. That's the only time creation happens for me. Because that's when the world is silent for me. People haven't woken up. I am not disturbed by the noise of the outside world. But that's when my creation happens. Then it can be executed during the rest of the day. Art is all that is left of our ancestors. Even in Kathmandu Valley, all the terroir squares, all the temples, those are all art, form of art. Those told us about our ancestors, of our ancient time. Even the cave man had art. So of course art is very important. Especially for me, it is a language. It is a universal language beyond language. If you were to describe a cow in French, German, Nepalese, Newari, all of them would at least, at the end, describe the same animal. But a painting, it describes with the image. It's direct. So art has always been there. I think there is no human beings without art. Art has many forms, as you know, from paintings to singing, to talking, to dancing. Art is another language human beings use to express themselves when they run out of words. God and humans are very, very similar. Human beings actually are gods in my art world. Only difference is human beings are stuck in the karma of who they are, what family they are born into, what they did, how they live, what they think. God is beyond dual mind. So how come God is all human-like? If a tiger was supposed to imagine God, it might look like a tiger. Or for a cow, it might look like a cow. So God is really a phenomena of your higher self projected out there. As we humans do also project ourselves. Now the question arises, who are you? If I were to tell you, you are not who you think you are, You are not who you think others think you are. Because all those thoughts were really created based on the family you're born into, religion you follow, culture you came from, books you read, what you did. But the Buddhist way is different. Buddhist way is silence. When you actually silence your individual intellectual mind, when you quieten your individual conceptual mind, you arrive at a point of silence, which Buddha described as sunyata. Now in that silence, deep inside you, you realize you're a pure being, pure light, pure energy, existing in total potentiality. There you'll find ocean of love. You have an ocean of love inside. Question arises, how do you share that love? How do you share that unconditionally with everybody you meet in your life? How do you open that floodgate and just let that love flow out of you? Because the universe is like a mirror. If you can manage to emit love like that, your whole world will transform to love for you. Godly state of consciousness is like the sky, and the other mask that you dance can play, your karmic self, is like the clouds in the sky, floating through, without any roots or home. So godly state is your natural state. The other state is your pretend state. You pretending to be you, whoever you want to be. There are many yous you like to be. All sorts of imagined come. But deep inside, you are that pure being, that godly state. And that's consciousness. To be that, you have to be quiet. Artists don't think of success. Success happens when your art is recognized by the world. For me, as soon as a big renowned museum like British Museum acquired my art, then all the other museums think twice to buy them. Because human beings like to follow. Then collectors, then when it's sold for money and you can pay your bills, that's material success. But for me, as an artist way, success for me is if I can live in harmony with myself and with the people around me. It's not about money, fame, or a fast car, or a nice home. I've seen many people have that and still not feel successful. Still chasing the dollar, chasing fame. I didn't develop art skill. Art is a way of living. I just played it, and it happened. And as people buy or give you confidence, it develops more. Like during my art career, I met somebody called Deepak Chopra, and he introduced me to Hollywood money. One thing money can do is buy time. So when I had the access of Hollywood money, I could spend a lot more time in my art. So I would say it was a renaissance period for this art. I could afford the time and gold and the best artisans to create masterworks, which were never painted before or will ever be. Now I have done many works. One of the works were Tibetan Art of Healing, the medical series, which consisted of 79 paintings. And that, the intention was to awaken an alternative way of healing ourselves. My last body of work, which is Dalai Lama's secret temple, Lincoln Temple, was to bring consciousness in the human mind that as we have a physical body, an emotional body, and a material body, we also have a body of light. Because that was the illustration of how to achieve a body of light. So different body of light, different paintings have different messages. Some are to remind you of your divine self. Some are to remind you of the divine cosmos you are. Om Mani Padma, Om Mani Padma. Dalai Lama had a vision of starting Tibet House in New York, 1995. But it took a long time till we found place in all. It was 2005, I think. They inaugurated Tibet House. So His Holiness came to inaugurate, and we had a very private meeting. All his patrons, which was Richard Gere, Philip Glass, Uma Thurman, Bob Thurman, Emily Fisher, big names. So that's when I had my medical set. My whole medical series was on the wall. And that's when His Holiness had the opportunity to meet, get his blessing. And that is when he jokingly, laughingly said, "You must be the reincarnation of this Nepalese artist. 17th reincarnation." And gave me a pat on the back. And I was in front of Richard Gere and all these Tibet fans. And of course, my life changed. Richard Gere, all those, Bob Thurman, everybody started giving me great respect as an artist. I had this great vision of spreading healing energy in the world. So I got to work to paint the Blue Burial, which consists of 79 paintings. It took me 7 years with 40 apprentices, 280 years of manpower. Tibet was a country where a lot of illiteracy. So even medicine was taught with illustration. So these were teaching aids to train doctors. So I had this vision to paint. And I was looking for a place to exhibit it. And what more greater place to exhibit than Tibet House, which then found its way to the Naturalistic Museum in New York. So that collection lives in New York, the Naturalistic Museum. Oh yeah, everything fixed. But as an artist, nothing affects, because it's beyond world of effects. Imagine an elephant walking down the street. Many dogs may bark at that elephant, but the elephant doesn't look back. So same way, in the world of art, I have had many criticisms. Even in my marketplace, I just turn around and say, don't worry. You can't afford my art and we're wasting time. You're wasting your time and my time. Very simple. So who gets it, gets me. Who doesn't get it, I do not waste my time.
To portray your art as?
No. In my court, there is no rules or laws. Everything is allowed, just consciousness. I have also created modern art, playing with art. I do everything. Everything that is necessary. Like right now, I'm painting the Book of Kells. It's a Christian art that nobody in Ireland can paint anymore because they've lost that technique and the patience, which we still have in this part of the world. And that is to bring Irish consciousness. Irish people are very suppressed by the English for many, many generations. So I wanted to bring their Irishness, what they're about. And art, again, is what represents we as a human being. So art is very important. Art represents the era, the time, how developed we are, how deep we thought. Art is the language. Most least, most favorite, I don't know. It just happens. Art is a burst of expression. It's not that I complain in life. I complain, but I don't complain about art. Art is a very free flow for me. It just happens, like breathing. It's like your in-breath flow is followed by your out-breath flow. Same, art comes out of that way. I'm always creating art. So there is no part I don't like and part I love. It's a way of being. Which part of breathing do you like? The breathing in or breathing outside?
Sometimes when the air is polluted, it's,
So which part do you don't like? Breathing in or breathing out? Well, there are many artists who have copped out of light and thinks artist's way is easy. Art for art's sake. Pretend artist. So I have no say for anything. Every human being is an artist who believes in art. It's about, do the rest of the world believe in your art? Are you able to express what is playing in your mind through your art? For me, every time I open my heart, people go, wow. It's just magic. It brings them in a different dimension. And especially when I start describing it, it comes alive.